This is News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Live at 4. We have confirmation from the Dane County Medical Examiner. The body found last week is that of 24-year-old Brooke Stratton.
That's right. This information comes 1 week after Stratton was reported missing. Madison police found Stratton's body last Thursday in a pond on UW Arboretum property. She was last seen Monday, September 30th in the area of Odana Road and Whitney Way. Police say she was with a male acquaintance. The next day, she was reported missing. The medical examiner has not yet released the cause and manner of Stratton's death. Additional testing is underway, though. We do know from Chief Barnes that the man last seen with Stratton is in custody at the Dane County Jail for unrelated charges. Barnes said police are questioning him in connection to Stratton's disappearance.
We're a few weeks into Madison's new bus rapid transit system, and the city's still working through some growing pains.
Yeah, that's right. The system needing to cancel some Route B stops today due to bus issues. Our Jalen Banks joins us from one of those stops with more. Jalen.
Brady and Braden, Metro Transit announcing earlier today that they're seeing some issues and shortage issues due to disruptions in one of their fleets. Parts of Route B had to be canceled because of a shortage in their Flyer electric bus fleet. The reason for that is Route B uses a different charging process than the buses on Route A. I caught up with some passengers of the bus system about their experience so far with BRT.
Being late, I have to rely on it to get to work and school, so being late is never good. Yeah, it's annoying, and I wish that we could get more BRTs or, I don't know, get more service out here or something.
Route B runs from downtown Madison on East Washington all the way to Sun Prairie. Now tonight at 5, we'll hear from some more passengers who still remain optimistic despite some of the issues that BRT and Metro has faced so far. But reporting live in Madison, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
Jalen, thank you. We have new data showing how Wisconsin students performed on standardized tests during the 2023-24 school year. We're breaking down those results for you, starting with ACT results. According to the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction, less than half of students are meeting or surpassing performance thresholds on the ACT. More than a third of students are approaching that threshold, and more than a fifth of students are in the developing category. The state's average ACT score for the 2023-24 school year is 17.9. The latest scoring data shows the national average in 2023 was 19.5.
Well, let's take a look at how younger students performed on the forward exam. Students in 3rd through 8th grade take that test for English, language arts, and mathematics. Grades 4 and 8 also take the exam for science and social studies. Results show nearly half of students who took the forward exam did not meet the standard in English or language arts. Let's get a look at your first warn forecast. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington is out on the patio. Nice Tuesday out there.
Beautiful Tuesday. I got my sunny disposition on out here with the sunny shades and so forth because the sun is out and it's a gorgeous day across southern Wisconsin. I feel like we're repeating over and over again. Beautiful day, beautiful day, beautiful day, and it is beautiful here with our Upland Hills sponsored Skycam. We got 69 in Madison. Winds are pretty light right now to the northwest at 9. Humidity is low. Fire danger is starting to increase out there. I'll talk about that a little bit more during this hour and in our newscast this evening. But gorgeous, though, is the main takeaway temperature-wise across southern Wisconsin. We'll get down into the 50s once we lose the daylight, and we'll go have clear skies tonight with low temperatures, upper 30s to the lower 40s. There is a little bit of a chance of that patchy frost again up towards Juneau and Adams counties, similar to what we experienced last night across southern Wisconsin. Temperatures waking up to, I mentioned, low 40s in Madison, but upper 30s to the north of up toward the north, up north at the Dells. And just latest on Milton, we're going to break this down a little bit more. My next main weather coming up here. Looks like Milton is really starting to tighten back up again, increase in intensity. I'll be checking the very latest on that latest category on Milton, and we'll relay that information to everybody in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Alex. We will check back in soon. Well, as Election Day fast approaches and rhetoric around election integrity continues to spread, we're looking ahead to what you can expect when you head to the polls.
Maddie Heimsch sits down with election officials right here in Madison to discuss voter safety ahead of the big day in November. Maddie?
Yeah, so federal law bans intimidation, threats, and coercion at any time during the voting process. It's also illegal to spread misinformation to prevent people from casting their ballots. Examples of voter intimidation intimidation include questioning other voters, falsely claiming to be an elections official, and spreading false or misleading messages. Dane County Clerk Scott McDonald says he's not worried about any instances of intimidation happening at Wisconsin polling places, but state election officials and poll workers have still been preparing to make the process as secure and streamlined as possible.
There hasn't been any efforts to sort of attack polling places. That didn't happen in 2020. We haven't heard about any plans along those lines. So I think it's very safe to vote in person on Election Day. No one should be afraid to vote. It's your right. It's your responsibility.
The American Civil Liberties Union reports that instances of voter intimidation are, quote, rare and unlikely, but in the case that they occur, you should report incidents to an election official. And if you're feeling nervous or unsure about any Election Day procedures, we have a list of resources up right now on channel3000.com.
All good advice. Thanks, Maddie. Now, the market for political ads can be not only complex, but competitive.
Political reporter Will Keneally spoke with an expert about how the campaigns decide on when and where you see those political ads. Will?
That's right. Imagine you have a fictitious $100 to spend on your campaign message. Now, how many TV ads do you buy? How much mailers do you buy? How much do you spend on digital? Now, it can be a different story depending on if you are the Harris campaign or a local state legislative candidate. We spoke with an expert in political ad strategy, and he says these campaigns pick their spots very carefully.
A Packers Sunday football game costs a lot of money, but if you're at the top of the ticket or you're a U.S. Senate candidate, it may be a really wise investment because there are so many eyeballs on it. So in many cases, it's going to depend on your objectives and your the office that you're running for.
He says that a down ballot candidate may have a harder time purchasing airtime in a highly competitive market like Wisconsin, where you have both presidential and U.S. Senate candidates all flooding the airwaves at the same time.
Will, thank you. People in Beloit will see major upgrades to their library. The city's public library received nearly $4 million from a state grant for renovations. The Beloit Public Library will use the funds to transform more than 30% of its facility. New additions include more reliable high-speed internet, classrooms, health services, computer labs, study rooms, and areas for parents to work while their kids play. These renovations will make way for the library's Discovery Place, a free learning center for kids ages 0 to 6. Construction is set to start in the spring.
After some teases over the weekend, UW Athletics and Coldplay are announcing a concert next summer.
Very exciting. News 3 Now's Kyle Pazorski shares what all the buzz is about from Camp Randall Stadium.
It's official. Coldplay is coming here to Camp Randall Stadium, making it the first concert in this venue in nearly 28 years.
It's going to be a big night for everybody.
Following Friday's release of the 7-time Grammy-winning band's 10th studio album, Moon Music, it was inevitable several new dates would be added to Coldplay's Music of the Spheres World Tour. Now, come July 19th, Madison's most iconic venue will see lasers, fireworks, and of course, live music, something not seen here since the Rolling Stones and U2 performed in the 90s. Charlie Goldstone of event promotion company FPC Live tells us he hopes Coldplay will act as a first step in bringing future concerts to the home of Jump Around.
I think there's a ton of interest from artists all over the world to play venues like this, as we've seen with Coldplay, so we absolutely hope and expect there'll be more concerts in the future.
The band will additionally be joined by a mystery guest, which will be announced at a later date. At Camp Randall Stadium, Kyle Pazorski, News 3 Now.
Kyle, thank you. And ticket pre-sale begins on Friday at 9 a.m. General tickets go on sale at noon. Are you going to try and get some?
Maybe. I bet they're going to go fast, though.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I'm sure it's going to be a battle.
We can just hang out in the parking lot, maybe,
yeah, we
and
can
listen.
Hear it from there.
Yeah.
For sure,
No
right?
worries. We'll make
Get on
do.
a rooftop somewhere?
Yeah.
Like, looking?
Who will let us on the roof?
If you have a roof, let us know.
Give us a call. All right. Well, still ahead, people in Florida are preparing for Hurricane Milton in the wake of another devastating storm.
We'll check in with Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington for where the storm is at and how much damage it could cause. We'll be right back.
Joan Baldwin wants to ban abortion, even in cases of rape, incest, and when the mother's life is at risk.
And would jail doctors who perform them.
Baldwin voted to ban birth control, too, and to deny rape victims emergency contraception.
Banning all abortions and birth control? No one wants to tell you what to do with your body.
More than Joan Baldwin.
But she can't tell you what to do with your vote.
When it comes to winning internet, TDS is in a league of our own. Just like the Green Bay Packers. Wisconsin born and bred, we live, work, play, hire, and get involved in the communities we serve. Like delivering the green and gold standard of internet. 100% fiber internet that's as fast, powerful, and reliable as your other hometown favorite, the Packers. TDS, internet that's built Wisconsin strong.
He murdered a father of 3, sentenced to life in prison. Kamala Harris pushed to use tax dollars to pay for his sex change.
I made sure that they changed the policy so that every transgender inmate would have access.
It sounds insane because it is insane. Kamala was the first to help pay for a prisoner's sex change.
The power that I had, I used it in a way that was about pushing for the movement, frankly, and the agenda.
Kamala's agenda is they, them, not you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Sometimes the smallest cracks can cause the biggest chills. This fall, watch out for The Draft.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
After careful review of medical guidance and research on pain relief, my recommendation is simple. Every home should have Salon Paws. Powerful, yet non-addictive. Targeted and long-lasting. I recommend Salon Paws. It's good medicine.
Meet Sarah Kieski. You might see her walking around in her Woke Genius t-shirt. Radical, just like the groups that support her. Kieski supporters want to defund the police. Her allies want to give voting rights to illegals and make it easier for felons to vote. And Kieski is backed by a group that wants to let criminals out early. Want to know where Sarah Kieski stands? Just look at the company she keeps.
We hold the most powerful tool to make democracy work for Black Americans, and that's our vote. Registering to vote takes less than 10 minutes. Help protect democracy. Go to myvote.wisconsin.gov to check your voter registration status. In-person absentee voting begins Tuesday, October 22nd. City of Beloit buses will provide free rides on Election Day. Let's be all in and vote on November 5th.
Welcome back. Vice President Kamala Harris says she wants Medicare to pay for more people's long-term in-home health care. Well, on The View today, the vice president said Medicare will cover that cost by negotiating lower drug prices. It's not yet clear, though, if those savings will be enough to pay for the proposal. Medicare covers in-home health care up to 35 hours a week for seniors when that care is deemed necessary. But seniors who don't require more than intermittent services don't qualify at all. The VP's proposal would seemingly expand the definition of who qualifies, but her campaign hasn't elaborated on those details.
The Supreme Court is weighing whether the federal government went too far when it regulated ghost guns back in 2022. The government says the definition of a firearm in the Gun Control Act of 1968 includes a weapon parts kit for homemade firearms, or ghost guns. That subjected ghost guns to the same regulations as commercially made firearms. A group of gun rights advocates and manufacturers say the 20th century law does not include gun parts. We won't have a ruling for a while, but during today's hearing, the majority of the justices seemed poised to side with the government.
Now, this is the big story in the Gulf today. Hurricane Milton is closing in on Florida as thousands of people there race to get out before it hits.
The storm's taking aim at Mexico today and will likely hit Tampa Bay tomorrow. This is barely 2 weeks since Hurricane Helene hit, killing more than 200 people across the southeast. President Biden says he's told leaders in the region to ask for anything they need due to the severity of the storm.
This could be the worst storm hit Florida in over a century.
Well, let's take a live look right now at where the storm is set to hit. This is Clearwater, just north of Tampa, and you can see it is pretty dark and cloudy over the area, but it's still the calm before the storm. So, Alex, what can you tell us about when this will hit Florida and how much damage we might see there?
Brady, unprecedented shot that you had there. I don't have good news, unfortunately, about Milton right now. It will likely make landfall Wednesday evening. And what you're seeing here with Hurricane Milton as we speak, it has increased again in its intensity to a strong Category 5 hurricane, winds at 165 miles per hour. You can just look at the satellite, and I mentioned this yesterday with hurricane science, when we're looking at the clouds from space and you see a concentric circle, a very clear symmetry there. That is a sign of a very strong hurricane with gusts up to 200 miles per hour, and it's on its way to Florida. Currently a Category 5 storm, although the National Hurricane Center and some of our tropical entities are thinking that Hurricane Milton will weaken just a little bit by the time it makes landfall as a strong Category 3, potentially a Category 4 storm. But we were talking behind the scenes here. Even though the winds may come down with Milton a little bit, that storm surge, that's all that water that's being drawn upwards towards the center of the storm, that will likely slosh inland here, causing catastrophic, devastating storm surge along the west coast of Florida, even if those winds come down just a little bit. Now here in southern Wisconsin, we got all good stuff. Lots of sunshine in the forecast, 80s on Friday. Cool this weekend, a little bit cooler this weekend, but not as cool as early next week. More on that in just a second. Let's plan our evening tonight. Sunny skies at 6 o'clock. I'll be here. Jacob's coming in tonight again to do the 10 o'clock newscast with temperatures cooling on down into the 50s. So another beautiful evening. Could see a little bit of patchy frost north of Madison, just like what we saw this morning. But we're going to continue to warm up throughout the rest of this week, so those frost chances will start to go down, but they will come back. More on that in just a moment. 36 to start off Wednesday morning in Camp Douglas, 43 in Madison, 43 in Janesville, and 45 our friends in Platteville. Platteville, you'll get up to about 74 Wednesday afternoon, 71 in Madison, upper 60s. I just updated in the Dells. You're going to get to 70 for a high temperature now on Wednesday. Warm all the way up to 81 on Friday. Series of cool fronts. Not a lot of water with these fronts, so I'm not expecting heavy rainfall or thunderstorms, but the temperatures slowly work their way down. Monday going on into Tuesday, highs only in the 50s. That's some of the coolest air we've seen since last spring, with overnight lows possibly upper 20s, lower 30s. So the chances for frost, as I've been alluding to here, they're going to come back to southern Wisconsin, and much of southern Wisconsin could be looking at hard freeze or frosty conditions, as it looks like right now, early next week. Now, speaking of Milton, again, you may wonder where we get some of our hurricane information from. Guess what? Some of the best tropical weather information comes from no further away than Madison, Wisconsin. The Cooperative Institute for Meteorological Satellite Studies, or CIMS, has a tropical weather department that is renowned all over the world for their tropical weather tools and for their research. Our team is really lucky, folks, that we will be doing weather live with hurricane experts at CIMS during our 4, 5, and 6 o'clock shows tomorrow night. We'll be tracking Milton, discussing what makes Milton unique, and talking the latest science on hurricanes that hit Florida's west coast.
That's pretty fascinating to learn about all that. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, you bet. And they're just downtown, not too far from us.
Very good.
Very interesting.
Well, shifting to something else. Is there a weird smell in your car, especially when the air conditioner or heater is on? So if it smells musty, say like, you know, a sweaty sock, the car care experts at Consumer Reports have some easy ways to make your car smell better.
Michelle Renee Quinn shows us how.
Does the air coming out of your vents now smell a little off? Unless you left a teenager's gross sports uniform in the car, Consumer Reports says you probably don't have to sniff around to find the culprit of that not-so-pleasant odor.
What you're probably smelling is condensation from the evaporator inside your heating and cooling system. Basically, water collects in that area, and if it sits for long enough, it creates that musty smell.
Most of the water is meant to exit the car through the evaporator drain under the vehicle. You've probably seen a small puddle of water under your car. But sometimes that water collects in the evaporator, and if it sits in there for a while, bacteria and mold can form, causing that smell. Here's the good news. The solution likely won't require a trip to the mechanic. This is an easy fix you can do yourself. First, turn the fan to the low setting and open up the windows. Get a disinfectant like Lysol and spray it into the climate system's air intake, also known as the plenum.
The plenum can be found at the base of your windshield where the wipers are located. This is where the air comes from that goes into your heating and cooling system.
With the engine on and the interior fan running, spray plenty of cleaner on both sides of the plenum intake vent, and the fan will pull it into the system, where it will kill the bacteria and help get rid of that musty odor. Keep the windows open to help air out the car. If you have a cabin filter, remove that before you spray the disinfectant to help it move through the system. It might be a good time to change it too, because a dirty filter can prevent optimal airflow, and changing it yourself can save you money and time. This is Michelle Renee Quinn.
Thanks, Michelle. Well, another source of those musty smells, the sunroof. There are small drainage holes actually on the sides, which sometimes get clogged, allowing water to seep into the roof's liner or even drip into the seats.
Ugh, gross. You can avoid that by cleaning the drainage holes every once in a while until water can get through easily.
Good advice.
Did you learn a lot?
I learned a lot about musty smells.
Okay. Oh.
Coming up next, a live performance from Grammy and Emmy-nominated composers right here in Madison this week.
An interview with one of the composers and the Wisconsin Chamber Orchestra's music director. That's when we come back.
Welcome to Oakmont Senior Community in Verona. Active seniors 55 plus will enjoy our new luxury apartments, professionally managed by award-winning Attic Angel. Call Demery today for a tour and reserve your place at Oakmont.
Nobody wants to replace the roof, but these days many roofs are only lasting 10 to 15 years, costing you tens of thousands of dollars. RoofMax makes your roof like new by strengthening and rejuvenating it. RoofMax treatments, started early enough, can extend the life of your roof by 15 years or more. And even if you think your roof is at the end of its life, 90% of the time, RoofMax can extend the life of your roof by 5 years at a fraction of the cost of a new roof. So give us a call and we'll give you a free assessment to see if your roof qualifies.
Happy anniversary! Join us for our anniversary sale.
And help us celebrate. We're having our biggest sale of the year with savings throughout the showroom.
Where you can save big.
And you can save big.
You can save big. You can save big. On quality home furnishings throughout the showroom.
Join us for our anniversary sale.
Wanakee Furniture ETC. Bringing quality homes since 1996.
We're still going for that nice catch.
We're still going for that perfect pizza. And with higher stroke risk from AFib not caused by a heart valve problem,
we're going for a better treatment than warfarin. Eliquis. Eliquis reduces stroke risk and has less major bleeding. Over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke.
Don't stop taking Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. Get help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take certain medicines. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures.
The #1 cardiologist prescribed blood thinner. Ask your doctor about Eliquis.
Join us at the Madison Fall Parade of Homes, exclusively sponsored by Nuns. Don't miss your chance to visit the area's top newly constructed homes filled with the latest trends and technology. Go to MadisonFallParadeOfHomes.com and purchase your tickets today.
Building that middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency. Compare that to Trump. He fights for himself and his billionaire friends. He intends to enact a national sales tax, the Trump tax, that would raise prices on middle class families by $4,000 a year. Instead of a tax hike, we will pass a middle class tax cut that will benefit more than 100 million Americans.
EverPack is responsible for the content of this ad.
Welcome to Oakmont Senior Community in Verona. Active seniors 55 plus will enjoy our new luxury apartments, professionally managed by award-winning Attic Angel. Call Demery today for a tour and reserve your place at Oakmont.
The Wisconsin Chamber Orchestra is preparing for a performance this Thursday from a lineup of composers recording for a spring album release.
That's right. It's the second year of the orchestra's 5-year project, Musical Landscapes in Color. Here to talk about the event, Maestro Andrew Sewell and composer Andre Myers. Well, welcome.
Hello. Hi, thanks.
Now, okay.
Oh, go ahead.
You were going to address our names being
I was we have Andre, Andrew, Brady, Braden. Say that 3 times fast.
So
okay.
You're not confused yet? You are now. Well, okay, so this is really a one-night only experience. So tell me about what makes this so special.
Well, it's the second of our CD project, which we're doing over the next 5 years, and this one we've called Convergence, and it features 5 composers. And Andre is one of them, and as a guest on today's program. Each of the works we've done performed either this past summer or in the last year and a half. Andre's work, Changes, is a wonderful piece that we're doing. We're including works by Valerie Coleman, her Umoja, 2 works by Michael Abels, Suite from Nope and Global Warming, and also Patrice Rushen's Fanfare and Fantasy. So we're very, very excited about what's coming up.
Sounds like a great lineup. Andre, when you are composing a piece, Well, first of all, describe your piece, and then what do you hope the audience discovers about it?
Yeah, Changes is a composition that celebrates music that is on the surface repetitive, but at its core about small little changes that take place over an extended amount of time. Folks sometimes refer to this style of music as minimal. My preference is to think of it instead as process music, like Steve Reich and them. And so the composition was written for an installation of art at the University of Michigan back in 2002, and then later commissioned for an orchestral version in 2012 by the Michigan Philharmonic. I hope that the audience takes a sense of repose and a sense of stillness. I think we could all use a bit of repose and stillness now.
It's very calming.
Yeah.
It's a very calming work, and I really enjoy it very much. It's really great.
Now, there's a lot of very, very talented people taking the stage. I mean, you got Grammy winners, you got Emmy winners. How do you compose this group of composers?
Well, we're very excited that, first of all, that they've made the journey to be here. That's even more special. To actually have living composers at the concert is really important. And around that, we've got some activities both at the university and locally as well. Valerie Coleman is an important composer of our generation. So is Michael Abels. He's just won the Pulitzer Prize and is tapped to be the next Star Wars composer. And he's going to be in town giving a talk tomorrow at the Black Hub Businessmen's Association. That's on Thursday, excuse me. And then he arrives tomorrow. And then also Patrice Rushen, who's already been on our first CD. Both Andre and Patrice live in LA, so does Michael Abel. So it's been a big move from the west to the lovely weather of Wisconsin.
It has been very nice lately.
It actually has, yeah.
It's not too jarring. Yeah.
No, it's pretty awesome.
This really does seem like quite the project, and how do you hope we find it in the future? Where can we go from here?
Well, the idea is that we will record over 5 years at least 25 composers, black composers, and this will become a cohort and a body of work that people can refer to and listen to on Spotify, and so then more people will play this in their concerts. I think it's just a tool. It's another tool, but it's a very important exposure of what these great works are doing. And you know, we tend to just think back 200, 300 years, and there needs to be a move to be more progressive and spotlighting and highlighting the talent that we have today.
Absolutely. Well, before we go, could you remind people, where do they go to see this? It's on Thursday.
Yes, it's on Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. at the Capitol Theatre at the Overture Centre for the Arts. You can get your tickets online or call the 24 something.
we can put the info online.
I think it's on the radio. You can call, go to www.wcoconcerts.org. Yes, all of that is going around in my head. 7:30 on Thursday. There is a pre-concert talk at 6:30, which is free, and there's a lot of activities. Just go to our website and you'll hear all about it. And convergence, and that because it refers to the convergence of generations, of music, of styles, and of composers, and we're really, really excited.
And now audience members converging to see it all.
Exactly.
Good.
Very exciting.
Thank you for having us on.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
We'll be right back.
Get an 11% rebate on everything at Menards. Shop our huge selection of Great Lakes vinyl plank flooring. Monarch vinyl plank flooring is durable, pet-friendly, and waterproof. Plus, it features a sound-reducing attached pad. Pick it up for just $339 a square foot after rebate. Check out our great selection of cabinets from Quality One. These ready-to-finish oak kitchen cabinets are ready to take home today. Get an 11% rebate on all Quality One cabinets.
Save big money at Menards.
4 years ago, rioters set this Minneapolis police station on fire, trying to burn me and my fellow police officers alive. Governor Tim Walz left us for dead. And Kamala Harris?
This is a movement, I'm telling you. Everyone beware. They're not going to let up, and they should not.
She raised millions to help bail rioters out of jail and supported defunding the police. Kamala sold cops out and put families at risk. Kamala Harris is too weak and too dangerous to be president.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Senator Baldwin claims she's doing something about the fentanyl crisis and says she got a major fentanyl bill passed. But Senator Baldwin is lying. The bill's main sponsor, Senator Tim Scott, had this to say.
As the primary sponsor, I've never had a single conversation with Cammie about this bill, period.
Career politicians like Senator Baldwin are always lying about something. Senator Baldwin, she's extreme, radical, and wrong.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
President Trump, you have long vowed to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act.
If we come up with something, we're going to do it, and we're going to replace it.
You still do not have a plan.
I have concepts of a plan. There are concepts and options we have to do that.
You have no plan. When Donald Trump was president, he tried to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. And what the Affordable Care Act has done is eliminate the ability of insurance companies to deny people with pre-existing conditions. You remember what that was like? We, over the last 4 years, have strengthened the Affordable Care Act, and now we have capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month. We have capped the cost of prescription medication for seniors at $2,000 a year. And when I am president, we will do that for all people, understanding that access to health care should be a right and not just a privilege of those who can afford it. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
You're watching News 3 Now live at 4. Moving forward.
Oh, Braden, I have some bad news with our weather words.
I knew it.
I don't think you'll be able to live your best fall life.
No sweaters yet. You know what, though? I'm having a change of heart, and I'm going to accept this for now, I think,
Good.
maybe.
Acceptance is important, yes.
And with the hope that maybe I won't have to accept it for too much longer, and I want some sweater weather. Will I get it, Alex?
Do you hear her voice right now, Alex? She is barely hanging on.
I was up an octave, I think.
Yes, you will get your sweater weather for two days next week. I can guarantee you that, Braden. The rest will be on the warm side, and that's part of the 3 things that you need to know. Lots of sunshine through the rest of this week. Plenty of sunshine out here on the patio. It's a beautiful evening across southern Wisconsin, all the way up to the lower 80s on Sunday. So if you want summer, it's coming on back. Cooler this weekend, 60s this weekend. That's going to transition us, though, in Maine weather. I'll let you know even colder weather is on the way to southern Wisconsin for early next week. Fall-like weather, sweater weather. I do want to also make note here, too, that as our leaves and vegetation continue to dry out with low humidity values, slim rain chances, we do have an elevated fire risk across southern Wisconsin, and that will continue. Evident on our Capital Skycam here, courtesy of Upland Hills. Even though temperatures are really mild, that dew point's really low. The humidity is very, very low out there. Again, increased fire risk. Planning our evening, it will be beautiful, though, overall in the 60s, dropping into the 50s, and then into the lower 40s here for Madison. Could do some upper 30s north of Madison, maybe mid-30s, and that's why we have a frost advisory to the north. Could be a little bit on the frosty side to start off Wednesday, but then another beautiful day is in store, which we see real quick here with our harvesting forecast for all of southern Wisconsin, not just for farmers. Climbing out of the 40s into the 50s, into the 60s by the middle of the day. All the green corn symbols mean no rain. We're not looking at any winds across southern Wisconsin tomorrow. Just another beautiful day. In Maine weather, though, we'll track when can we expect the potential for widespread frost in southern Wisconsin, and of course the latest on Hurricane Milton.
Thanks, Alex. Well, President Joe Biden visited Milwaukee today and set a 10-year deadline for cities across the country to replace lead pipes. Right now, Milwaukee has the 5th highest number of lead pipes in the nation. This new rule is the strongest overhaul of lead and water standards in nearly 3 decades.
For too long, local communities have known how important it was to deal with this problem. It hadn't been given the national priority it demanded, though. I'm here today to tell you that I'm finally insisting that it gets prioritized, and I'm insisting it get done.
Now, the rule also revises the way lead amounts are measured. That could significantly expand the number of cities and water systems with excessive levels of lead that will need to be replaced. The 10-year time frame starts in 2027 to give water utilities time to prepare.
First Lady Dr. Joe Biden will campaign for the Harris Walls campaign in Madison next week. And the campaign says on October 14th, Dr. Biden will give remarks on abortion rights, democracy, and economic opportunity. The last time Dr. Biden visited was in June when she made a stop in Green Bay.
And in just 28 days now, people will go to their polling place to cast their ballot for the 2024 election. But first, though, they have to register.
That's pretty important. Our Merrill Hubbard is here to talk about efforts from young people to get more people their age ready for November 5th. Merrill?
Yeah, Brady and Braden, this is a big week for high schools in Madison School District as student clubs and volunteers are giving registration resources to students who are 18 years or older. West High School is participating in that effort as the League of Women Voters and the Civics Club team together to give registration forms and information to students who need it. The Civics Club at West is an active organization. They invite local representatives from both sides of the political aisle to talk to students at their school. They've organized registration days for the spring election and now the presidential election. And because of the age limit, there aren't a ton of 18-year-olds that haven't already registered online. So even though the registration turnout is usually a handful of people, they still say that every vote counts.
I think it can sometimes be a little intimidating, especially for new voters, to go up to a table of people they have no idea who they are and like talk about what they're supposed to do, and it can feel, like I said, very intimidating. So I think the point is to have young people helping other young people.
The League of Women Voters was there to help guide students through the process. Fiona tells me that they registered 4 more students during this registration day, but that she plans to see even more register for the spring election when more seniors turn 18. Coming up tonight at 6, we're going to learn more about how voter registration has changed in high schools and why volunteers say it is important for people in this age group to start voting as soon as they can.
Thank you, Merrill. Wall Street's rebounding after sliding a bit yesterday. The Dow is up 126. NASDAQ up 260 and the S&P 500 up 55.
Well, it is finally Halloween season. Do you have a costume yet?
I don't.
Okay, well.
Can I just go as a news anchor?
Me too.
I have the outfit.
Me and you, co-anchors.
Yeah.
As a local family has a treat for some in the Sun Prairie community, though.
In the 608, we're visiting the spooky display that's sure to get you in the mood for the season.
You might wonder, John Legend, how do you keep your voice sounding so legendary? Honey, and how do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC.
The fresher, the better.
Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot.
Nobody wants to think about cold weather, but now's the time to winterproof your home. Is your house cold every winter? Your home needs foam. Are your heating costs too high? Your home needs foam. Do you have different temperatures in different rooms? Your home needs foam. USA Premium Foam is over 35% more efficient than ordinary, weaker insulation. Winterproof now and get 0% financing for 72 months.
USA Insulation.
Old windows compromise your home's comfort. Vinyl windows, a 1970s relic, aren't built for extreme weather. They warp and crack, becoming vulnerable to the elements. At Next Door & Window, we have the answer. Fiberglass. Our Ultrex fiberglass windows last up to 50 years, longer than any other window you can buy. And while other companies cut corners and never call you back, we've got your back. When you demand tomorrow's comfort, Next delivers. Visit nextwindow.com to learn more.
Every day starts with a routine, but it's the details that define our day. Clarity that helps you focus and keeps your goals in sight. In every moment, every look, every glance. See the world your way with Wisconsin Vision. Ask about 40% off lenses with purchase of frame. Wisconsin Vision. See more life.
Quartz takes a different approach to health insurance. We know every life well lived is a journey, and we're here to light the way at every step. That's why for 40 years we've been alongside the doctors and hospitals who know what their communities need, because they're a part of them, because we're a part of them. There's a fire burning in all of us. Let's ignite it together. Quartz. Find your spark.
New at 5, we'll look into the strategies behind political ads. Why do you see certain messages on your TV or in your mailbox? Check out how campaigns decide where to spend their dollars.
Almost a carbon copy Tuesday night with some frost chances north of Madison. Coming up at 5, we'll give you the latest on frost chances for the rest of southern Wisconsin and also the latest on Milton.
And ahead at 6, Madison's new budget faces a $22 million deficit with potential cuts to key services. How much will it cost taxpayers to avoid them? We'll break it all down tonight at 6.
In the 608, spooky season is in full swing. Did you like that? Yeah. Well, Sun Prairie family goes all out for Halloween every October.
Brady is very excited about this. While Josh Sprider visited the family's home, well, it was still dark and spooky this morning.
You there, Buccaneers. We were on Silverado Drive in Sun Prairie checking out this beautiful Halloween display as we get into the spooky season spirit. Aaron Voken is back with us. He's the mastermind behind this project. Aaron, good to see you again.
Thanks, Josh. Good to see you.
So year number 4 of this project for you, and what's new this year?
So this year, we've done pirates. We went big with pirates 3 or 4 years ago. When we lived in Chicago, I did pirates, and I thought, you know what? I want to bring that back. I really enjoyed it. So I made a giant pirate treasure chest.
You dare to gaze upon the golden spoils.
My sister helped and made this giant costume for the pirate, which is tough to find. Kind of, I guess go big or go home. And so I went big with a lot of things. Took our spider and put him in a cage. Got some pirate blow-ups. I built this homemade ship from scratch and saw some ideas on Pinterest and the internet and whatnot. And just, getting ideas of lots of painting. I also adapted a couple of animatronics. I have Captain Cuts.
Fun.
Yeah, Captain Cuts here. It's really great because, dogs will walk by or kids will walk by and they'll come by and they'll kind of spook the dog.
It spooked me already today, so.
Yeah, it's pretty fun, and they really enjoy it. People will stand out here and, ask me questions. People ask me, what's my favorite part? And I think it's the little things when I put a lot of time, and I know how much time it took me to make something like...
A lot of detail.
Oh, absolutely. Whatever I see, and I get ideas on the internet, and I think, I'm going to try that. And then I try it, and, things fail, stuff breaks, the rain happens, the wind happens, and you kind of learn to adapt through it, so.
How many hours do you have into a project like this?
Gosh, I would say it's well over hundreds.
Wow.
It just so many. I've gone through a lot of books. Let's say that.
I believe it. This is something that you plan year-round for.
Absolutely, and I feel like I'm behind. I talk to people online that are like, oh yeah, we're planning 5 years out. And I'm like, what? But I think the. Just having something to really kind of focus your energy on and channel. I tell people it's expensive, but it's way cheaper than therapy.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. It keeps you busy. What keeps you inspired with this project?
I see things, I see, as I mentioned, I see things online, stories and things, of course, we see, like my son, he's turning 10 this year, and we'll do things, we'll watch Harry Potter or Pirates or something, and he'll get interested in it. I thought, you know what, I should do that this year, and so that rekindling of joy and excitement around the holidays.
I love that. Of course, you use up every square foot of your yard, but this year you actually got the neighbor involved a little bit too.
Yeah, we did. I was able to kind of pass some of my things, lights and some inflatables and things to our neighbors, and my wife was ecstatic about it, kind of opening things up so it's not so crowded in our yard and spread it. I think if it was my way, I'd probably move everything down the entire street.
You never know, maybe eventually, right?
That's right. We go long enough, it could happen. So.
I love it. So obviously you're all about that community spirit, and there's also a way for people to give back when they come out here and check out your display. How can they do that?
So we are collecting donations for the Sun Prairie Food Bank. We have a barrel up front here, and you can, people can come out, see the lights, see the decorations, and then bring like a canned good or something to kind of give back to other people, especially in a time of need. So that's one of the things we're doing.
And especially in this community too, everyone is so willing to be able to give. Why not have some fun with it too?
Absolutely, absolutely. We love to see people. Last year we had a lot of people come for Halloween and leading up to it, and when the weather was nice, and as I mentioned, to just have that opportunity to give back to other people, to give to the community is really great. So
very good. People can check out the display through Halloween.
Absolutely. It'll be up in the evening. It's really great when the lights are on, as you can see, and so it's great. I suggest to people to come out at night when the lights are on. So
I'm glad we got to visit while it was dark out yet.
Absolutely.
Aaron, thank you so much. Appreciate it. If you'd like to learn more about this Halloween display and when you can check it out, just go to the story up on channel3000.com. It's spooky season in Sun Prairie. I'm Josh Sprider, News 3 Now.
Thanks, Josh. Spooky season.
Yeah, he didn't bounce. You didn't bounce. Yeah, next time. I really love families that go all out for the neighborhood, but also find a way to make it give back to the community.
That is awesome. That's an awesome way to do that.
Well, a newly approved way to screen for colorectal cancer.
Dr. Jeff Potoff joins us to talk about how it works when we're back.
It's a great time to have RG Heating and Air Conditioning check your home's furnace system for safety and efficiency. RG services all brands and installs quality trained equipment to keep your home running smooth year-round. Call RG Heating and AC today.
Meet Sarah Kieski. You might see her walking around in her Woke Genius t-shirt. Radical, just like the groups that support her. Kieski supporters want to defund the police. Her allies want to give voting rights to illegals and make it easier for felons to vote. And Kieski is backed by a group that wants to let criminals out early. Want to know where Sarah Kieski stands? Just look at the company she keeps.
Don't mind me. I'm just the flu. I'm quite harmless, really. And when people ask, but aren't you linked to dangerous flu complications like pneumonia, heart attack, and hospitalizations? I just say, but I'm just the flu. It's him. Who? I'm just the flu.
Demand more from your flu shot. Sanofi higher dose flu vaccines are proven to provide better flu protection than standard dose flu shots in older adults. They've even been shown to better protect against flu-related complications.
Don't get Fluzone high dose if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its components, including egg products, or after previous dose of flu vaccine. Don't get Flu Block if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its components. Tell your healthcare professional if you've had severe muscle weakness after a flu shot. Fainting has occurred. People with weakened immune systems may have a lower vaccine response.
All flu shots are not the same. Ask for a Sanofi higher dose flu vaccine. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about Fluzone high dose or Flu Block.
With Sweeto Metal Roofing, you get quality metal roofs installed by the best in the business. A metal roof means no fading, no storm repairs, true sustainability, and lower energy bills.
Sweeto Metal Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
Prices are up, wages are down, inflation is crushing Wisconsin families. Yet Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Even more radical, Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. Tax hikes and higher prices for families and those living on fixed incomes. That's Kieski's record, expensive and extreme. Reject Sarah Kieski and her radical agenda.
For 3 years in a row, Chevy has earned more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand.
1, 2, 3.
Whether it's a high-tech SUV, the all-electric Equinox EV, or a truck for work or play, Chevy is America's most awarded brand for new vehicle quality. Or qualified lessees can get this Equinox LT for around $299 a month. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
After the American Cancer Society lowered the recommended age to get screened for colorectal cancer, there's been a bit of an uptick in screenings among younger people, and the FDA has just approved a new test to determine the risk of CRC in people from Exact Sciences.
Yeah, UW Health's Dr. Jeff Potoff joins us now to talk about screening for colorectal cancer and what this new test could mean. So obviously when most people think about cancer screenings, colorectal cancer screenings, they're going to think of a colonoscopy, but that's not the only way, right?
No, there's actually lots of choices out there. So certainly colonoscopy is a great test, but a lot of people, especially younger people, 45 to 49, they're thinking to themselves, I don't want to take off of work. I've heard about that prep. Someone's got to drive me. And they may say, you know what, I don't think I got cancer anyway, so like, I'm just not going to do that. So it's nice to have other screening options because it is really important to get screened. We're seeing more and more cancers, colorectal cancer, in that 45 to 50, about 20,000 cases diagnosed last year. So if you're listening and you're between the age of 45 and 49, like, that means you, like, get out there, get that done, whether it's colonoscopy, virtual colonoscopy, some of these stool tests, there's even blood tests out there now. Pick one and then just cross that off your list.
You mentioned a bunch of barriers, the prep or getting time off of work, and people can use that as like, I don't have time for any of that. So does this really help eliminate those sort of barriers that people are just like, that's inconvenient, I don't want to do it?
I think so. So I mean, I think colonoscopy is a great test, but I fully understand that, you know, people don't want to come to the hospital, they don't want to do these things. I think the nice thing about either a blood test, which, you know, is pretty simple, you go to a clinic, get your blood drawn, or something like Exact's product, Cologuard, where they'll basically mail a box to your house. You know, you go to your bathroom, you do your business, you mail it back and you get a result. You really can't get much more convenient than that.
So talk to us about this new version of this test. We were saying it won't look different to the consumer, but it's very different on their end.
Yeah, so you can imagine Exact's been in this business for about 10 years now. Cologuard's been out there, and they basically look for the presence of blood in the stool and then some of these genetic mutations or methylated DNA. Those words aren't important. And over the course of 10 years, they've been able to kind of understand like what are maybe some more specific targets that they can look for in their test to increase both the sensitivity, meaning that if you get a negative test, you truly don't have cancer, but also the specificity, which means if you have a positive test, it actually means you do have cancer. And that's important because if you have a positive, say, Cologuard test, you need to go get colonoscopy, and we don't want a whole lot of people having to go get colonoscopies who didn't need them. Right. So increasing that specificity is also a good thing too.
You know, how encouraging is it, like having Exact Sciences like right in our backyard? This technology is coming from, you know, us.
Yeah, I think, you know, maybe a lot of people don't think of Madison as this like hotbed of biological sciences, but it really is. And I think it's nice to have companies like Exact who are committed to getting people screened for colorectal cancers, places like UW Health, SSM, who are also, you know, kind of in this together to try to make sure that no one needs to die of colorectal cancer. We can get people screened, we can get you treated early, and we can eliminate all those sad stories that almost all of us have heard.
Yeah, that'd be really nice, wouldn't it?
It would be
Early
great.
screening, that's what people need to know about.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Dr. Potoff.
Thank you.
Well, let's go over to Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington. Alex?
Let's start off by planning our evening. A beautiful evening once again. 64 degrees at 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock down to 57. And by the time you join, Jacob will be here tonight at 10 o'clock. It'll be 53 degrees. So what a wonderful evening again to get outside, maybe take a walk yet, take the dog for a walk as well with these gorgeous conditions continuing. Now, still a little bit on the cool side to start off Wednesday morning. Cool enough, a little bit of patchy frost possible north of Madison up towards Juneau and Adams counties, but we'll continue to warm up throughout the rest of this week, so the frost chances are going to continue to go down. Starting off mid to upper 30s north of Madison, low 40s in Madison, middle 40s to the southwest towards Platteville. And we'll all warm up into the upper 60s to the low to mid 70s as we go into Wednesday. Again, temperatures 10, if not greater than 10 degrees above normal for this time of year. All eyes again on the Gulf. Look at this concentric circle, meaning perfect symmetry of Milton as we're looking at visible satellite imagery showing an incredibly powerful hurricane back up to a Category 5 storm with wind gusts of upwards of 200 miles per hour. Now, Milton's going out of over warm sea surface temperature. There's no land impacts right now, but the upper level winds higher up in the sky could impact Milton a little bit as we head later into Wednesday, and that could bring the winds down a bit. But this forecast here could change. We could still be looking at a landfall of a Category 4 storm with a very significant storm surge as well with Milton. Our forecast cools off after a warm Friday, a little bit cooler over the weekend. The temperatures early next week, upper 50s with lows in the upper 20s to lower 30s, could spell some widespread frost chances for southern Wisconsin. We'll be right back.
Alex, thank you. Actually, before we head to break, we have some breaking news for you. Janesville police say they're investigating 2 separate incidents of bodies found near the same gazebo within 2 days of each other.
The first incident happened Sunday just before 4 o'clock. Officers responded to North Washington Street after a report of an unresponsive man near the gazebo. He died at the scene. Then on Tuesday morning, someone found another unresponsive man. He also died on the scene. There's no indication of foul play or trauma, and authorities say there's no threat to the public. This investigation is ongoing. We'll be right back.
Building that middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency. Compare that to Trump. He fights for himself and his billionaire friends. He intends to enact a national sales tax, the Trump tax, that would raise prices on middle class families by $4,000 a year. Instead of a tax hike, we will pass a middle class tax cut that will benefit more than 100 million Americans.
FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Shop the largest selection of Chevy trucks and SUVs in Wisconsin at Bergstrom Chevrolet. Lease a new Silverado 1500 starting at $355 a month, or a 24 Equinox EV starting at $299 a month. Stop in or shop and purchase at BergstromMadison.com.
Champion's big window sale is back.
Do you have ugly, hard to open, drafty windows? Now is the best time to buy new Champion windows, because when you buy 2, you get 2 free. Buy 2 Champion windows, get 2 free? I guess that means if you buy 4, you get 4 free. Buy 6, get 6 free. Buy 10, get 10 free.
Hurry, Champion's Buy 2, Get 2 free sale is for a limited time.
Great job, everybody. Thanks.
Call 888-4CHAMPION or schedule your free in-home estimate online today.
This is Good News, Madison. Brought to you by Don's Home Furniture.
Overture Center's mission is to support and elevate the community's creative culture through the arts. So 2024 marks the 20th anniversary of the opening of Overture Center for the Arts, and we are celebrating all of what we call the O moments that people experience when they come to Overture.
And that is Good News, Madison, brought to you by Don's Home Furniture.
4 years ago, in this alley, rioters threw a brick at my face and knocked out my teeth. Why? Because I was a police officer. And what did Kamala Harris do? While America's cities were burning, Kamala was defending peaceful protest. She raised millions to help bail rioters out of jail and supported defunding our police, making us all less safe. Kamala Harris is dangerous.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Now take a look at this. Police pulled up to a home in Washington State to find a trash panda party.
Oh, no.
Deputies say the woman who lives at the house had been feeding a few random raccoons for decades, but the problem is actually so bad now the pests prevented her from getting inside.
I feel like this might be a problem caused by her.
Yeah.
Well, so she called 911, though. Deputies say the creatures aren't committing any crimes, so Fish and Wildlife will have to handle the eviction, but neighbors are ready for the paws and claws to get gone.
So don't feed random raccoons.
Don't feed random raccoons, moral of the story.
You'll have little burglars there. All right, we'll be right back.
Donate blood at Stoughton Health's upcoming blood drive on October 18th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. The event will be hosted at our Community Health and Wellness Center. Sign up online at bloodcenter.org.
My name is Bill. I am retired. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I live here in Wisconsin. I am not a political person, but Eric Hovde doesn't understand how important Social Security and Medicare are around here. I'm on Social Security, and Hovde said he absolutely supported cuts to Social Security and Medicare. Imagine working longer, paying into the system, and then poof, you're paying your bills with less. He knows it. Cutting Social Security and Medicare will cost us. He just doesn't care.
WIN Senate is responsible for the content of this message.
Fry Construction has done it again. For the 5th year, we won the prestigious Best of Madison Award, and it's all thanks to you. To celebrate, we're offering 29% off our exclusive Absolute Gutter System with any full roof or siding project. Our gutters are custom fabricated on-site for a perfect, seamless fit that's engineered to excel. Don't just beautify your home, beautify it with the experts you trust. Call Fry Construction today and let us show you why we're the best of Madison.
Kamala Harris is going to significantly raise taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
Kamala's plan will raise families' taxes by nearly $2,600 a year. Under Kamala, prices have already soared. Now she'd make it worse with even higher taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
President Trump will cut taxes again. No taxes on tips, overtime, or Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Senator Baldwin claims she's doing something about the fentanyl crisis and says she got a major fentanyl bill passed. But Senator Baldwin is lying. The bill's main sponsor, Senator Tim Scott, had this to say.
As the primary sponsor, I've never had a single conversation with Tammy about this bill, period.
Career politicians like Senator Baldwin are always lying about something. Senator Baldwin, she's extreme, radical, and wrong.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
Bigger isn't always better. Stoughton Health offers in-house MRI in a safe, inviting environment with convenient scheduling, friendly staff,